Okay, we're going to talk about the transform tool, and we're going to talk about how to get other images into, like 2 or 3 images into one image. So right now I have what we'll call a composition. It's a blank page, and we want to arrange type and text and images on this. So this would be like creating a postcard or creating a flyer. We want to put stuff on this page. So the first thing to do is I have pictures at the top, so you can see in CS4 we have these tabs at the top, and by clicking on the tabs you can see the other images that I have already opened. So the first tab, Untitled 1, is actually our composition where we want to put these images. So in order to select this image and actually move it to our composition, I'm going to select everything. So under our select menu at the very top, we're going to choose select, and then we're going to choose all. And you'll notice we can tell we have a selection because we have these little marching ants. It's kind of what they've been called in the past. So you can see that we've actually done something. We've made a selection, and now we can actually pull that over to our composition. So we're going to go up to File. Next to File is Edit. We're going to click on Edit, and we're going to do a copy. So just like in Word or in another program, we're just going to do a copy and a paste. So now we're going to go to our composition, and we're going to go to Edit, and we are going to Paste. Okay, so there is our go-kart racer. And now you can notice that I have another layer. So with my Move tool, with that layer selected, I can move this go-kart player around in my composition. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for my second image. So I'm going to close this image since we're done with it. Okay, and then we come to our second image, and it's a guy riding a dirt bike. So there's another way we can actually make a selection. We can actually make a selection with our tool, our selection tool. So we have select all, which is what we did last time. This time let's use our selection tool. So over here, the second tool down underneath your move tool is your selection tool. So it's a rectangular marquee tool, but what it will do is make a selection for you. So I'm going to click on the tool, and then I'm going to click outside in this gray area, and click and hold the mouse button down all the way to the right corner, the bottom right corner, way out here, and then I'm going to let go of my mouse button. And you can see that gives me the same similar marching ants all the way around. And now I can do a edit, copy, and then go to my composition and paste it in there with an edit, paste. Okay, so with that paste, it looks like our go-kart guy is gone, but if you play with the layers, you'll see the go-kart guy is still there. Just our motorcycle rider, the image is actually larger. So if you don't understand the layers, there's a video on layers, so go check it out. That we won't cover that in this video. Okay, so I have 2 images in there. Let's move our third in there. We have, looks like these wild boars. So choose however you want to get that in there. I'm going to show you a drag and drop, so that will show you 3 different ways to do this. At the top here, in your very top in the application panel, is what it's called, there's this view, arrange documents. I'm going to put 2 side by side, and what I'm going to do is actually drag, instead of doing a copy and paste, I'm going to drag one image into the other. But you have to have this view showing so you can actually see both images at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to click on 2 views, and you'll see on the left view I have my composition, my untitled one, and on the right view I have the wild boars. I'm going to go back to my move tool, just so I have my move tool selected. And what I'm going to do is select the boars with going to the menu, clicking select all, and then I'm going to use my move tool to click and drag and drop it over here. Okay, you'll notice, let's go ahead and select this. So I have to click here. You can tell this is my active layer by the tab is highlighted in a light gray shade. You can see this tab is a dark gray shade. If I click on here, it'll actually be active. You can see the rulers light up as well. So I want to make sure I'm clicked on the wild boars, and then I'm going to go up to select all, and you can see I have my marching ants around my wild boars. Okay. Now, if you notice, my cursor has changed. So the move tool looks like this. at the top, you'll see if I'm outside my selection, it looks like a little arrow with, looks like a pointer with crossed arrows. So, showing that you can move things. Now with a selection, because we've made this selection, in the middle you can see I have an arrow, but I have with scissors. So what I can do is anywhere inside the selection, I can click and hold, and you can see as soon as I get over here, I get a different icon with a little plus mark. That means I'm going to add it to this composition, and that's exactly what I want to do. So as soon as I let go, it'll take it a second, but you can see I have the wild boars over here. And now this is active, and I have the wild boars over here with my move tool. You can see I have the wild boars, the motorcycle rider, and the go-kart rider. Okay, so that's how to get pictures into a composition, or get more than one picture together. So I'm going to close the boars because now we have everything we want. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is over my layers panel, I'm going to turn off the boar layer, which is layer 3, so I can kind of get these two guys arranged. So the go-kart guy is fine. Let's say we moved him there, and that's fine. We're going to put the motorcycle guy up in this area here to the left of the go-kart guy, and we're going to use our transform tool to do that. So I'm going to make sure I click on that layer. So with that layer highlighted, I'm going to go up to Edit, Transform, which is about halfway down, and I'm going to choose Scale because I want to scale this down. Okay, so as soon as I do that, I get these little controls, these little corner controls. And you can see as I put my mouse on the controls, it shows you what I can do with it. I can move it in and out. Okay, same with all these controls. I can move them in and out. Now I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, just so that I can see all my controls. So I went to View, Zoom Out, and it let me see a little bit more of the canvas so I can see these controls. Now here's a trick. In this bottom right corner, I'm gonna click and drag and pull that up here. But if I do that and I mess up, you can see if I don't pull it perfectly, it squishes it either horizontally or vertically. I can squish him either way, and that's not what I want to do. I want to keep the same proportion because I don't want him to look like he's riding, his tires to be ovals or anything like that. So the trick here is to hold down the shift key. So after you click and I'm dragging around, you'll notice if I hit the shift key, it constrains that proportion. So I let go of the shift key, it lets me skew it. But as soon as I hit that shift key, it lets me keep that in the right proportion. So I'm going to make that about the same size as the go-kart guy. And I'm holding shift down right now, okay, to keep that constrained proportion, and as long as I let go of my mouse before I let go of the shift button, it will keep that constrained proportion for me. So I'm going to let go of the mouse button. Now I'm going to let go of the shift button, just so that I know for sure it's constrained the proportion. So I like that, and this is the last step that everybody forgets. You can see I still have my controls, so I'm in the transform tool. So you'll notice in the tools panel, I don't have any tools selected because I'm actually in this transform tool, which actually isn't on this list on the left. That's why you don't see anything highlighted. So to get out of it, if I like this, you hit enter and it accepts your changes. So if I hit enter, it redoes it, and then it puts me back in the tool I was in, which was the move tool, which is perfect because now I have the motorcycle guy on the right and the go-kart guy on the left. Actually, I flipped that around. Motorcycle on the left, go-kart guy on the right. Sorry about that. Okay, let's turn on our boar layer here, and I'm going to drag him down to the bottom. And if you don't understand how to do that, look at the layers video. That'll show you how to do that. And then I'm going to use the transform tool. So I'm going to go up to Edit, Transform, Scale, and you'll see I'll be able to put them in. And I just want to fill up the bottom of the screen with them. So I'm going to hold my shift key down and drag and move them up a little bit just so that you can see both of them running away. And now this is kind of a lame postcard or whatever, but this kind of gets you used to moving things around, putting multiple things in a composition, and playing with layers. So that was pulling items into a composition and using the transform tool.